Well, today we are another day closer to getting this novel done. As far as progress today, for the most part, I'm done. I ended up finishing up the last kind of notes of the draft or things I had to change today, and as of now, we're basically ready to go. What will happen next is I'll end up sending this off to my editor for a final proofread in the coming weeks. So I'll be doing something in between, which I'll go over probably tomorrow. But for all intents and purposes, we're done. We're done. There are still some other steps to go, but the story is finished. It's a very weird thing. I'm not going to be doing kind of celebration or any kind of cheering whatever until this thing's out. That's when it's officially done. The moment it's actually up on Amazon, that's when we can do a nice little cheer. We can do a little bit of a happy dance or whatever. But yeah, I think the thing to understand about this process is that it is a long game. That doing this as a writer and as an author is an infinite game. You can more or less write forever, at least until your faculties go, which is pretty late in your life, hopefully. And if you can view it that way, if you can view this as a very long-term fight, I think you'll have a lot more success than if you stress about each project that you're doing. There are times, even now, right at the end here, where I was starting to get a little bit worried. I was like, man, this book is not as good as what I'm doing now. I talked yesterday about this. Like, man, I'm writing so much better stuff right now. It's like, God, ugh. But what you need to understand is that you, as the author, again, are improving, which is great. In that every book you write, every story you work on, generally will be better than your prior work, usually. And so, if you come in with the mentality that I have to wait because I'm not at that level yet, if you go in and you think, I don't want to self-publish this book because I'm not there yet, I don't think my skill is quite there yet, understand that you will always have that mentality. The mentality that you're not quite there yet will always exist. I do think that there are authors, some of them are on YouTube, who should have waited, whose first books they put out were not particularly good, that they should have maybe put in a couple more years of waiting rather than trying to rush to get this thing out. I think they might have been happier maybe doing that. I think in terms of maybe perception, that's a good idea. But there is a flip side to that. There's another side to that, which is you'll never really know when you're at the level you need to be at. It just happens. Usually someone accepts your work. That's kind of the benefit of having a gatekeeper, is you never really have to know. Someone else tells you when you're at that level. When you're doing this yourself, it's all on you. And you're never really going to know when you should have made the jump, when your work was good enough to make the leap. And maybe you'll always have that sort of fear and self-doubt. And ultimately, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter even that, no one's opinion, even my own, when it comes to other people's work, matter, right? I just said maybe some people on YouTube, maybe, some of these authors that I've read, maybe they shouldn't have published so fast. Maybe they should have waited. But who am I, right? Who am I to say that? Ultimately, right? I'm just another voice amongst the thousands that has an opinion, So what you can do instead is understand that you're never going to be ready. You're never going to feel like you're good enough, and you have to just kind of jump in and go with it and hope that the one you go with ends up being good. When the story comes out, I'll be proud of it. I'll be happy with it, and it will be the first of many to come out. And so with that, I'm going to wrap up here. Tomorrow I'll go over what's going to happen next tomorrow. But for now, we're closer. We're closer than we've been before to getting this thing done. And boy, I'm going to be quite happy when it's over.